Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode number 557 of this here electronic engineering podcast called Amelia's Weekly Fish Fry. Brought to you by eejournal.com and written, produced, and hosted by yours truly, Amelia Dalton. Folks, this week I am chatting with CEO from ITTIA Sasan Montaseri about the challenges of real-time data management, the best security practices when it comes to embedded IoT edge data management, and how ITTIA can help you manage your embedded system's real-time data in a single database solution. So, without further ado, please welcome Sasan to Fish Fry. Hi, Sasan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so first off, for my audience who may not know, what is ITTIA all about?
ITTIA provides modern time series database for application developer of embedded systems and also IoT devices. These devices typically are categorized into microcontrollers, microprocessors, electronic design components for vehicles, and our software, ITTIA streams and unifies real-time data that is generally pouring in a large volume from the sensors and devices for the edge. And then we do the analysis and storage so application owners, they can run their desired data campaigns. Basically, we designed this technology for Internet of Things and AI in mind, the data computing, and they have certain characteristics. And our foundation includes two engines for our technology, one for streaming analysis and one for storing the real-time data on the edge that we refer to as HTAP. That stands for hybrid transaction analytical processing. And this is a pretty emerging architecture that's very new and it's available for the cloud. And what we did, we designed that and architected it for edge devices. So basically what it does, it makes the embedded systems to gain intelligence by understanding the data, analyzing the data, and making sense out of it. And in general, customers come to us with specific needs for their embedded systems, and what we do, we assist them so they can benefit from their RTOS, real-time operating systems, or integrated development environments, IDEs, so they can integrate that with ITTIA, and we support them to build regular application, custom applications, or anything that relates to data computing for embedded systems and devices.
So let's talk about edge devices, Sasan. These days, the organization of incoming data is a big issue. So talk to me a bit about the challenges of real-time data management and how you guys are help solving these issues.
For a long time, there has been a magnificent campaign for promotion of cloud computing, for which 100% connectivity is a must. And meanwhile, there is a great number of embedded systems in the IoT arena that they build for the edge, and they must operate whether there is a connectivity or poor connectivity or no connectivity at all. So for those systems, it's important to benefit from a really strong real-time embedded data management platform. And that's where, we refer as a edge computing, and that's where we come to the picture. We are dealing with some customers from specific industries or general industries that they're absolutely reluctant to move the data outside their embedded systems. So at the most, they're willing to keep it on premise. That's it. And these people want to keep the data. Why? Because they want to own their data. They want to maintain their data, and they want to decide what to do with it. So these are all something that can be done with the powerful devices at the edge. Devices, MCUs, MPUs, they are getting powerful, and that's really possible to do at the edge. So what we do in ITTIA, we offer this great value so the manufacturers can build their embedded systems and they can rely on us so they can maximize the edge data computing for their advantage, which brings them, many important factors such as security, such as, reducing the data maintenance cost. And most importantly, again, they can own their own data and decide what they can do with it. So in short, we with ITTIA we allow the data computing at the edge, the data ownership, and direct control on the future of the plans with the data that is owned by the application owners. And that is the value that we bring to the table, and that's how we are getting selected for the edge computing.
So, another design concern for a lot of embedded systems these days is downtime, whether planned or unplanned. Now, you guys have a solution for these kind of situations with support for high availability and disaster recovery, right? So, can you talk a little bit about that?
And yeah, the important ETIA features for critical systems. I mean, the systems that you refer are mainly critical systems, and they do real-time data monitoring and management. And for them, we offer replication, mirroring, high availability, or fault tolerance. And as I shared with you earlier, ETIA provides a seamless integration for online or real-time data streaming. There's an engine that queries in the data, and we also have a persistent storage for querying. And then the combination of this dual approach to be able to stream the database and store the data independent to any connectivity makes this really ideal to say, okay, what do we do when there is a disaster, when there is a power failure? And for IoT edge devices, what we bring to the table, it's something like that you call dynamic configuration. And this dynamic configuration is as the system is deployed and working, all those devices and sensors are collecting information and collecting data. And suddenly you decide to keep the system running, but add more sensors, add more devices without interrupting the system. So that is where our dual engine adds a perfect value, and we are able to make sure that the high availability, which is a very important factor for these kind of systems, offers a system to continue benefiting from great performance, because you don't want to lose performance when something goes down. You want automatically these things happen. You want to minimal the overhead, and you want to be able to offer a solution that it's convenient for developers so they can easily add high availability to their systems. So what we did, we architected ETIA that supports quick data recovery when there is a power failure, whenever there's a disaster, so the application can quickly and continuously process and manage the data as soon as everything becomes available.
Now, Sasan, no discussion about embedded systems would be complete without talking about security. And you guys recently wrote a blog called Embedded IoT Edge Data Management Security Practices. So can you address the kind of data programming practices you think are best for today's security challenges?
Yes, security is important and also interesting. As you know, there's a huge explosion of data at the edge, and the threat surface is growing. And these embedded systems, edge devices, are really exposed to much higher risk. And because of their high value to attackers, more and more critical infrastructure and systems are being attacked as IoT becomes, more important and rises. So generally, security for embedded systems is addressed at the RTOS level or the hardware level, or at the application. So what we do at ITTIA, we also offer features and functionalities that includes data encryption, data authentication, and we build and offer our own security expert agent library, which is called DB-Seal. And so developers and manufacturers get the peace of mind that in addition to the RTOS hardware and application, there is another important security gate that can monitor their application. In addition, ITTIA SDL, which is referred as Secure Development Lifecycle, is a conformant to the principle of IEC ISO 62443 security standards that ITTIA supports. And I believe we are the only database company in the world that offers that. And our team of experts continuously look for threats and vulnerability. They get into the work for preparing a response by carefully examining the threat model and introducing whatever is required for testing, whatever it's required for getting the design in place. So before this arrives to customers and anything that comes to their attention ahead of time, they can prepare that. And according to the SDL that we have in place, the team, does the required steps to make sure that we are actively searching for threats, and we actively have modeling and response ahead of time, so we can inform customers and prepare them for dangers that may be problematic for them.
So if my audience needs some help with their next design, ITTIA offers one-on-one training, right? Can you tell me a bit about this as well?
Sure. It's more than that. We offer training, consulting, and we work really customers to benefit from our know-how. And these people who are building mission critical application, they really want to be able to rely on a robust technology that offers scalability, safety, integrity, and also, make sure that they can get the know-how really fast. So as a result, we have a professional services that offer the training that you mentioned, and it helps customers to do various things, such as looking at their project plan, and helping them with proof of concept, and looking into the benchmark that they have, and any optimization that can help them to really get ahead of time and have access to our know-how at a very reasonable cost, so they can focus on their business logic and build their application.
You guys launched a recent webinar as well. Can you talk to me a bit about that?
Yes, so we have a series of webinars, and we generally target them for various audience. We do have one coming up specifically for application developer of microcontrollers, and then we have after that for microprocessors and ECUs. So during these webinars, we introduce trend that we experience from our end in working with customers, and we try to make that available for embedded developers, so not only they understand about the possibility and the features that is available for them, also be aware of what are others experiencing and how challenges are getting solved through this community that we have, that we refer as the ITTIA community.
Excellent. All right, Sasan, it is time for your off-the-cuff question before I let you go. So, Sasan, if you could have one meal right now, it doesn't matter if it's on the other side of the world, you need a passport to get there, what would you have?
Well, that's a very interesting question. So I don't know how much time you have for me, because foods are really important for me, but I appreciate that. I was born in Iran. I always appreciate the ingredients and foods that we have from the culture that I started my life with. And there's a meal that we call cholo kebab. And the cholo kebab, it's a food that the recipe for that is step-by-step available. And if you are looking for really good the flavor of cooking something new, I refer you to go and look for this cuisine. And basically, the cholo kebab that I refer to, cholo means rice, and rice without any additional ingredient like beans or herbs and other things. And basically, it's a combination of polo that we call rice, and the ingredient it tends to add something that's called saffron that you're familiar with, and salt. So the cholo kebab comes in the form of bag or chicken or lamb, and this is something that it's really healthy. It has a little bit of calorie, a little bit of fat, but that's okay. It's a good meal, and if I want to go for a food, I will definitely consider that as my first choice.
I love it. It sounds delicious. Well, Sasan, I think that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Sure. Hopefully, this also did some good advertisement for the Persian restaurants that we have all over the place in the United States and outside in Europe and other places.
I love it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Also, you guys, there is a super cool new webinar by ITTIA that you should check out. Coming up in a little less than a month, this webinar, called Edge Ready MCU Applications for Next-Gen Event-Driven Architectures, will quickly introduce you to excellent MCU-specific software solutions for developing your next-generation data-driven IoT systems. You will also learn how to recognize and overcome data management obstacles. So make sure that you register today, because seats are limited. And tell them Amelia sent you. Hey, have you checked out EE Journal on social media yet? Well, you should. You can find us at facebook.com/EE Journal. If you're into X, or Twitter, or whatever, you can monitor our tweets at EE Journal TFM. And don't forget, if you would like to follow my personal account, check out Amelia D 1978. And hey, if LinkedIn is more your thing, sure, I dig it. You can follow us or me on LinkedIn as well. And we have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/EE Journal. Folks, it is chock full of all kinds of techie videos, including our very popular Chalk Talk webcast series, hosted by me. And you can subscribe, of course, to our EE Journal YouTube channel as well. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this here podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or just about any other podcasting platform to listen to some really exciting upcoming episodes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you know of any cool new technology or heck you just want to chat, shoot me a line at Amelia, that's Amelia, at eejournal.com, or post a comment on our forums on EE Journal. For the week of November 10th, 2023, I'm Amelia Dalton, and you've been fried.